This video is going to teach you how to fast cure Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue is what's called a polyurethane glue. And in the instructions, it tells you that you have to do three things. First, you have to dampen the parts that you're going to glue together. Then you put glue on the two parts and you clamp it together. Then you have to let it sit pretty much overnight for it to fully cure. Well, I'm a bit impatient, so I wanted to figure out how to make Gorilla Glue cure faster. So I did some experiments. At first, what I've tried this evening is to see how Gorilla Glue cures on its own. And I started this experiment at 7:06 today, and it's currently about 7:30. And if I touch it, it's a little over 2 hours. If I touch it, you can see it's still soft in the middle. And what's happened is, without any additional moisture, the outer skin has enough moisture in the air to cure it, but then it becomes a moisture seal, and the middle of it stays soft for a long time. So you can see how I can smush it. So what we need to do is figure out somehow to get moisture throughout the entire glue bead. Now, if you know a little bit about chemistry from high school, you probably did this experiment where you mixed baking soda and vinegar. In this case, I just happen to have rice vinegar. When you mix the two, it bubbles up, right? And what that reaction is doing is it's creating carbon dioxide as a gas, and it also creates water molecules. So if you mix the two together into the Gorilla Glue in such a way that it actually produces moisture throughout the material, you'll get it to fast cure. So I ran some experiments. First off, as Gorilla Glue suggests, by adding moisture, you can actually mix a few drops of moisture into the Gorilla Glue. In this case, I used rice vinegar. Here's one drop for 10 drops of Gorilla Glue, 2 drops of vinegar for 10 drops of Gorilla Glue, and you can see that the 1 drop wasn't very foamy. 2 drops is a little more foamy, 3 drops, and then finally 4 drops, and even 5 drops. So 5 drops versus 1 drop, you can see the difference. 1 drop is very not very foamy, but 5 drops certainly added quite a bit of foam into the mixture. Now, when you put in baking soda, you actually cause the mixture to be a little more uniform. When I cut this open, you'll see that in the middle, the bubbles are much bigger than on the outer surface. But when you mix in baking soda after you put in the vinegar drops, your bubble consistency is much more uniform. So in the middle, the bubble sizes will be about the same size as it is on the outer surface. So the best way to fast cure Gorilla Glue is mix vinegar and baking soda. In this sample, I started this sample at 7:43, and by 8:39 it was already done, about 45 minutes. And look how hard that is. You can experiment as well with the amount of baking soda. In this case, it was just a very tiny sliver of baking soda, about this much. You can see it on this tiny spoon. But if you add more baking soda, in this case I added 3 portions of that little bit of baking soda, and I got a different consistency, a little tighter bubble structure than with just vinegar alone. And with 1 portion of baking soda, 3 portions of baking soda. Finally, I mixed a portion where it kind of felt like the consistency of soft butter, and that's pretty hard. Finally, I did a toothpaste consistency, and that's very rigid. So 10 drops of Gorilla Glue, 5 drops of vinegar, and baking soda to a toothpaste consistency. Excuse my my BS here. This sample started at 832 and has achieved its full hardness by 916. Again, about 45 minutes. So a 45-minute cure on what normally takes 2 hours for it to get to this consistency, soft, and overnight hardening, whereas right now this is pretty rigid. All right, that's it for today. You guys visit my website, send me any comments. I hope you enjoyed the video.